Learn English through story. The Secret Kiss of Lust. In the heart of a bustling metropolis, where ambition mingled with desire, a woman named Elena navigated the complexities of her life. In her early 30s, she was a successful marketing executive at a prominent firm, yet her heart was burdened by unfulfilled dreams. Though her career flourished, her personal life remained a barren landscape, characterized by a lack of passion and excitement. She had been married to David, her college sweetheart, for nearly a decade. Their relationship had gradually devolved into a routine existence filled with polite conversations and mutual obligations. Despite the comfort of their shared life, Elena often found herself yearning for something more. It wasn't that she didn't love David, rather, she felt that their connection had grown stale. The spark that had once ignited her heart seemed to flicker dimly in the background of her daily life, overshadowed by responsibilities and the mundanity of adulthood. One fateful evening, while attending a networking event for work, Elena met Marcus, a charismatic and enigmatic entrepreneur. He was everything David was not: adventurous, spontaneous, and infused with an undeniable energy that drew people toward him. As they mingled amidst the clinking glasses and lively chatter, Elena felt an uncharacteristic flutter in her stomach. Their conversation flowed easily, filled with laughter and flirtation. Marcus spoke of his travels, his dreams, and the passion that fueled his work. Elena found herself captivated by his words, the way he painted vibrant pictures of experiences she had only dreamed of. In that moment, she felt alive, as if the universe had conspired to awaken something deep within her. As the night wore on, Elena felt an intoxicating chemistry building between them, a magnetic pull that made her heart race. When Marcus leaned in closer, his warm breath brushing against her ear as he whispered something funny, she felt a shiver run down her spine. It was a moment suspended in time, a connection that felt electric. After exchanging numbers, Elena returned home with a whirlwind of emotions swirling inside her. She lay awake that night, unable to shake the memory of Marcus's laughter and charm. She was acutely aware of the implications of her attraction, yet, the thrill of it was intoxicating. Days turned into weeks, and the interactions between Elena and Marcus flourished through texts and late-night phone calls. Each conversation peeled back layers of her soul, igniting a flame of desire that she had long thought extinguished. The more she learned about him, the deeper her infatuation grew. They arranged to meet for lunch, their playful banter charged with unspoken tension. During one of their rendezvous, they found themselves walking through a secluded park, the sun casting golden rays through the trees. As they strolled, Elena felt a rush of adrenaline when Marcus brushed his fingers against hers, the innocent gesture sending electricity coursing through her veins. Their laughter echoed in the air, the world around them fading into insignificance as their chemistry intensified. As they neared a hidden alcove, surrounded by flowering bushes, Marcus turned to her, his eyes dark with desire. "Elena," he said softly, "there's something about you that drives me wild." Elena felt her heart race. In that moment, all the doubts and fears that had clouded her mind vanished. She was lost in his gaze, the pull of their chemistry undeniable. Without thinking, she leaned in closer, their lips brushing together in a tentative kiss. The kiss ignited a fire within Elena, a rush of passion that surged through her body, awakening a side of herself she had long buried. It was a kiss filled with longing, filled with all the unfulfilled desires that had simmered beneath the surface for far too long. But the thrill of that moment was quickly overshadowed by a wave of guilt. Elena pulled away, breathless and shaken. "I can't," she whispered, her heart pounding in her chest. "I'm married." Marcus's expression shifted, a mixture of understanding and frustration. "I know, but you deserve to feel alive, Elena. You deserve to embrace your desires." Elena's mind raced as she walked away from that secret alcove, torn between the allure of forbidden passion and the loyalty she felt toward David. The kiss lingered on her lips, a haunting reminder of what could be, yet the weight of her commitment pulled her back into the shadows of her mundane existence. In the days that followed, Elena grappled with her feelings. The kiss had awakened something deep within her, an insatiable hunger for adventure, for life, for passion. Yet she couldn't ignore the reality of her marriage. David had always been a good man, kind and supportive, but their relationship felt more like a partnership than a romance. With each passing day, Elena's internal conflict grew. She threw herself into her work, trying to drown out the memory of Marcus and the thrill of their kiss. But no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't shake the feeling that something essential was missing from her life. One evening, as she sat across from David at dinner, she noticed the way he absent-mindedly scrolled through his phone, oblivious to the silence that had settled between them. "David," she began hesitantly, "do you ever feel like we're a broken bar drifting apart?" He looked up, surprise flickering in his eyes. "What do you mean?" he asked, genuine concern etched on his face. "I don't know," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "It just feels like we're going through the motions. I miss the excitement we used to have." David frowned, his brow furrowing. "I thought we were happy. We have a good life together, don't we?" Elena nodded, but her heart felt heavy. "Yes, but a broken bar." As she struggled to articulate her feelings, the weight of her unspoken desires pressed down on her. She knew she had to confront the truth, but the thought of hurting David paralyzed her. The following week, Marcus texted her again, suggesting they meet for drinks. Against her better judgment, Elena agreed. As they sat in a dimly lit bar, the atmosphere buzzed with energy. Marcus was charming as ever, his laughter infectious. Their conversation danced around light topics until Marcus leaned closer, his gaze intent. "You've been on my mind a lot, you know." "I can't help but think about that kiss." Elena felt her pulse quicken. "We shouldn't have done that," she replied, her voice wavering. "Why not?" Marcus countered, his tone teasing yet sincere. "You can't deny that there's something between us, something worth exploring." The tension between them crackled in the air, and as their eyes locked, Elena felt herself spiraling deeper into the whirlpool of desire. She knew she should walk away, but the magnetic pull was too strong. That night, as they walked back to her car, Marcus stopped suddenly, pulling her into an embrace. Their lips met once more, igniting a fire that burned brighter than before. Elena melted into him, surrendering to the heat of their connection. The kiss was passionate, desperate, filled with all the pent-up longing she had kept hidden. But as reality crashed back in, Elena broke away, breathless and trembling. "We can't keep doing this," she gasped, her heart racing with fear and excitement. "I can't keep betraying David." Marcus stepped back, his expression a mix of frustration and desire. "You have to decide what you really want, Elena. Life is too short to deny your feelings." That night, Elena returned home in turmoil, her heart aching with guilt and longing. She lay awake, wrestling with her choices and the dark desires that had consumed her. The thrill of her encounters with Marcus felt intoxicating, yet the weight of her betrayal weighed heavily on her conscience. As the days passed, Elena found it increasingly difficult to focus on her marriage. She loved David, yet the passion she craved seemed to slip further away with each passing moment. Marcus continued to invade her thoughts, his words echoing in her mind. One afternoon, while scrolling through her phone, Elena stumbled upon a quote that resonated deeply with her. "The greatest risk is not taking one." It struck a chord within her, awakening the part of her that had been dormant for far too long. Driven by an urge to confront her desires, Elena decided to take a leap of faith. She called Marcus, her heart pounding with anticipation. "Can we meet?" she asked, her voice steady despite the whirlwind of emotions inside her. When they met at a nearby park, the atmosphere felt charged with possibilities. "I've been thinking about everything," Elena confessed, her heart racing. "About us." Marcus's eyes lit up, filled with hope and desire. "And, I can't deny what I feel," she admitted, her voice trembling. "But I need to be honest with you. I'm married." Marcus nodded, understanding the weight of her confession. "I get it. But you deserve to feel alive, Elena. You deserve to embrace your desires." As they spoke, Elena felt a rush of excitement wash over her. The truth was liberating, and for the first time in years, she felt empowered to explore the depths of her desires. They agreed to meet again, and this time, the stakes felt higher. Their secret encounters continued, each one more passionate than the last. Elena found herself swept up in the thrill of the forbidden, the excitement of sneaking away from her responsibilities. Marcus ignited a fire within her, and she felt alive in a way she hadn't experienced in years. But with each stolen moment, the guilt began to gnaw at her. The duality of her life, via one of fidelity and the other of lust, became increasingly difficult to bear. Elena realized she was playing a dangerous game, one that could shatter the fragile balance of her world. One evening, after a particularly passionate rendezvous with Marcus, Elena returned home to find David waiting for her, concern etched on his face. "Where have you been?" he asked, his voice laced with worry. "I was out with friends," she lied, her heart racing as she struggled to maintain her composure. David studied her closely, and for a moment, Elena felt a flicker of guilt. "Elena, we need to talk," he said, his tone serious. In that moment, the weight of her secret felt crushing. The walls of her double life were closing in around her, and she knew that the truth would eventually surface. As they sat across from each other, David's expression softened. "I've noticed you've been distant lately. Is everything okay?" Elena opened her mouth to speak but found herself at a loss for words. How could she explain the complexities of her heart? How could she unveil the desires that had consumed her? Before she could respond, David reached out and took her hand. "I love you, Elena. I want to know what's going on with you." Tears filled her eyes as the weight of her choices crashed down on her. She could no longer keep the truth hidden. "David, a broken bar. I've been struggling," she admitted, her voice breaking. "I've felt lost for a long time, and I don't know how to fix it." David's brow furrowed with concern. "What do you mean?" Elena hesitated, the fear of his reaction paralyzing her. But deep down, she knew she had to be honest. "I've met someone else," she confessed, her heart pounding in her chest. "I've been unfaithful." The silence that followed was deafening. David's expression shifted from concern to disbelief, and the pain in his eyes pierced through her. "How could you do this to us?" he asked, his voice trembling. "I'm so sorry," Elena whispered, tears streaming down her face. "I didn't mean for it to happen. I was just so lost and a broken bar." David stood up, his emotions swirling as he processed her words. "You don't have to explain yourself. I can't believe this is happening." In that moment, the reality of her choices crashed down around Elena. The weight of guilt was suffocating, and she felt the ground beneath her tremble. As David left the room, Elena felt as though her world was unraveling. She had embraced her desires, but at what cost? The thrill of her secret kiss with Marcus now felt tainted by the pain she had inflicted on the man she loved. Days turned into weeks, and the fallout from her confession loomed large. David had moved out, leaving Elena alone to grapple with the consequences of her actions. The silence of their home felt like a haunting reminder of the life she had shattered. Elena found herself spiraling into a state of despair, her heart heavy with regret. She reached out to Marcus, seeking solace in the one person who had ignited her desires, but he too had been affected by her revelation. "I can't be a part of this, Elena," he said, his voice filled with a mix of frustration and disappointment. "You need to figure things out for yourself." Elena felt a wave of despair wash over her. She had chased after lust, only to find herself more lost than ever. The thrill of her secret kiss had turned into a painful reminder of her choices, and she knew she had to confront her reality. In the following months, Elena dedicated herself to healing. She sought therapy to understand her desires, her motivations, and the impact of her actions. It was a painful process, filled with difficult reflections and moments of vulnerability. As she delved deeper into her emotions, Elena began to rediscover herself. She learned to embrace her desires while acknowledging the importance of honesty and integrity. The journey of self-discovery was long and challenging, but it ultimately led her to a place of empowerment. After a year of soul-searching and personal growth, Elena felt ready to confront her past. She reached out to David, hoping to rebuild the trust they had lost. They met in a quiet cafe tilde copyright, both visibly changed by the passage of time. "I've missed you," Elena admitted, her voice trembling. "I know I hurt you deeply, and I'm so sorry for the pain I caused." David studied her for a moment, his expression softening. "It was a painful time, Elena. I didn't expect it to hurt so much. I've spent the past year understanding myself," she continued, her heart racing. "I made terrible mistakes, but I want to make things right. I want to rebuild what we had." David took a deep breath, uncertainty etched on his face. "I appreciate your honesty, but it's going to take time for me to trust you again." Elena nodded, tears filling her eyes. "I understand, I just want a chance to show you how much I've changed." As they spoke, Elena felt a flicker of hope igniting within her. It wouldn't be easy, but the willingness to confront her past and embrace her desires without compromising her integrity marked the beginning of a new chapter. Over the following months, David and Elena worked on their relationship, navigating the complexities of forgiveness and rebuilding trust. It was a slow process, filled with open conversations, vulnerability, and a renewed commitment to each other. Though they faced challenges along the way, Elena found strength in her journey of self-discovery. She learned to embrace her desires while honoring her commitments, understanding that true fulfillment came not from fleeting moments of lust but from the deep connections she cultivated with others. In time, Elena and David grew closer, their relationship evolving into something deeper and more authentic. The spark they had once lost began to flicker back to life, illuminating their path forward. As the years passed, Elena reflected on her journey with gratitude. The secret kiss of lust had led her down a winding road filled with lessons, heartache, and ultimately, growth. She had learned that desire, when embraced with honesty and integrity, could coexist with love, transforming it into something profound and meaningful. The kiss that once sparked a whirlwind of chaos had become a catalyst for transformation. Elena had found her voice, her desires, and her path to a more authentic life, and as she stood alongside David, their hands intertwined, she knew that the journey was far from over. It was just the beginning of a new adventure, one rooted in passion, trust, and the beauty of rediscovered love. The secret kiss of lust is a tale of desire, passion, and the moral complexities that arise when lust intertwines with love. Through Elena's journey, the narrative explores the importance of self-discovery, honesty, and the power of personal growth. It teaches us that while the allure of lust can be intoxicating, true fulfillment lies in embracing our desires while remaining true to ourselves and those we love. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you enjoyed, then please like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.